Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to continue on with going through my anime list and going over the notable titles for the year 1983. Alright, so before we begin, we would like to remind everyone to basically go below, click like, and click subscribe. And now that with all the new changes with YouTube, of course, you have to click the notification bell so that you guys will know when they put out new episodes. As well, I've also now compiled, put a list of all the episodes and things that I've done for the History of Fan Anime into an Excel spreadsheet. Because again, YouTube, the search algorithm and that kind of stuff won't always recommend my videos and that kind of stuff. So now I've got to build my own index to basically list all the various episodes, so that way you can check for yourself and see what all episodes are related to. For example, different types of animes coming out in different years, or of course more music suggestions, or of course any anime suggestions. All right, so link is below. Do have a look and download that, and do look through that and see what episodes suit your fancy. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first one that really sticks out right away is of course Dunbine, or Battle of Dunbine. Now this wasn't like my first sort of mecha kind of anime. That would go to like Zeta Gundam and Double Zeta Gundam, but this was sort of the first sort of mixed fantasy one that I really got into, because I really got into Zeta Gundam and all the Gundam type series, and so I was interested in other types of shows that were kind of like this. So so that's when I started looking and trading with the people at the CFO and whatnot, and then looking for other types of series, and that's where things like of course Dunbine was really big for me. Zabungle, Toby Kage, and things like this were all really things that I was trying to look for more episodes for. Now at the beginning, Dunbine was it wasn't hard to get. I mean, it was maybe a little bit harder to get than Zeta Gundam. But quality again was a really big issue, so I had a lot of problems, trying to watch the series. At first, trying to get all the, to figure out what was going on. But I thought it was a really good series, and again, I also liked the little fairy girl, Charm there, and so that was really kind of a good series for me. Okay, so the next one here is Rashing Man. Now I remember Rashing Man because I got these episodes from just sort of a random assortment of episodes from my friend Asa, who his friend was the hockey playing Japanese fellow Yoshi. And what we did for him is he'd record episodes of Vancouver Canuck games on tape and send them to Japan, and then Yoshi would record like various animes. Like I remember he did some things like Orange Road, Maison Kaku, City Hunter, a little bit of Gundam, but he also sent things like Rashing Man, and just various shows like that, and he'd send those back to us. And so Rashing Man was one of these. I mean, I didn't really like the art style in Rashing Man. The story was kind of interesting, kind of fun-hearted, and then got kind of really mysterious and dark when they introduced that sort of that Watchman character. But the whole entire story of the thing, premise for it is pretty much like Demolition Man from Sylvester Stallone. Now, of course, that movie came out in 1993, well after this particular series did. But as far as the cops waking up in the future type of thing, if I'm looking for futuristic cop shows, I'd still think things like Sonic Soldier Borgman, and even things like Metal Jack, even Son of Mobius. I find those type of shows much more interesting. So, but this was it has a special place in my heart for this show though. Okay, so was continuing here from the rest of the years. Nothing whether there are no other series of TVs now from ongoing things. So I'm going to just continue from a previous episode. Macross, of course, was ongoing, and that's very good. Yours has 200 episodes, so that's ongoing. The Space Cobra series, that's ongoing. That's a good one there. Didn't really, care about Dr. Slump too much, but that's notable there. Captain Harlock, SSX, Sazai-san, of course, continuing. What else we got here? Keep flipping down here. Yes. Zabungle, of course, or Baksinger. That's one of those. Again, just before my time, but think about that. So let's continue on to movies now. Okay. So the first of the Oive movies. Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Crusher Joe. Okay, yeah, there we go. One of the best time movies for this particular year. Has to be one of the key shows that virtually everyone was watching, and again, from the guy who made you things like Venus Wars and that kind of stuff. This was a really good popular movie. It was one of the I think one of the sort of essential watches of the time there. So definitely that was a really good movie. Okay, so next one I see on the list is Gematai-sen, or I remember it was originally listed as Harmageddon. Now this movie, again, a lot of people had this movie, and I remember watching it, and it's all right. I didn't care for the art style. Again, it's early Otomo work, so that's the guy who will eventually bring you Akira. All right. But it's psychic power kids and that kind of stuff. So I think it was really an interesting sort of kind of movie type of thing. But I guess it really didn't really resonate with me. But definitely a lot of people did watch it. So it's it's worthwhile taking a little look at it anyway. All right. So the next one is obviously the first space cruiser Yamato Star Blazers movie. That one was very good. I think there was 3 of them in that set, so again, a lot of people had that one. Very, very popular series. But yeah, definitely a good movie to check out. So moving on, it wasn't really much else in that row there, so let's continue, and we'll go on to the next part of the season, which is now summer. So first on the list here is Votoms, Armor Trooper Votoms. That was a really good one. I remember the big expert in that superfan, if you will, was a Tim Eldred, and he even wrote a big book about Armor Trooper Votoms. Now the animation for Votoms wasn't all that great, but it was it wasn't that side of the same sort of lineage as Gundam, that kind of stuff. The only thing is that the mechas were more meant to be things like tank busters and that kind of stuff, and so they wasn't as cool as let's say a full armor like a Gundam, but definitely a lot of story intrigue in it. Obviously a lot of backstabbing going on there, political wise and unit wise, and so that's the whole thing about Votoms, which was kind of good. So yeah, it was one of those series that was a sort of intern before all the before my I got into Zeta Gundam at that time. Okay, so I see there's Cuckoo Man here, which is that weird wrestling show. A lot of romance shows. Looks like there's Miyuki. There's a Nanako SOS. I guess another magical girl show. Yeah, nothing really much else out there. Some kind of weird Mickey Momo thing there. Those are all the ongoing TV series, so we'll skip over all those. And then we go to the big movie section. Alright, so when we talk about big movies, again, Golgo 13. The Professional. Okay, so that's one of these big feature films again at this time, and again there's very few of those type of movies out there that around this time. So very the ones that do come out are really of good notice. So again, for this year, we had Crusher Joe earlier on, and now I think another one of the very pivotal animes that you should really check out is Golgo 13, The Professional. Both very very good movies for this time. Again, very popular. A lot of people had these two titles traded around, and it was always usually featured as those feature length things that they always shows at conventions. So definitely one of the movies that definitely check out at least for this year. Golgo 13. Okay, and now let's continue along here. Nothing else in terms of movies. Okay, so next season, first thing on the list here is Cat's Eye. Now, at this time, I've probably already seen some various episodes of Sing du Cat's Eye from the French channel, and so this story really kind of captivates me. And again, same artist who brings you City Hunter, and a little pretty cool of that. And again, I always thought that the relationship between Hitomi and the detective was really kind of it was interesting. The story was about the different heists and that kind of stuff was very interesting. And again, the artwork was actually pretty good on it too. So this later on, of course, got me really interested in, of course, seeing what City Hunter was all about. And so again, this is one of those a good key series for me and for a lot of people around the world. This series, Cat's Eye. Okay, so next on the list is Creamy Mami. So this is the predecessor series for Kimi Takada doing her artwork, and again, I didn't know that, and of course, I haven't seen Orange Road yet, but this is another one of those magical girl shows. I didn't really get into the series. I watched quite a bit of it, but it's just I didn't get into the storyline, and that. And again, this is before I got into magical girl shows, so it's then later, after I learned about Akimi Takada's artwork from Orange Road, then I started getting interested in all her other various works, including Creamy Mami, Pastel Pasha, and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I got into that series. Alright, the next series on there is the Super Dimensional Orguss. This is again just right after the heels of Macross, and the artwork, of course, Mikimoto, and of course I was really taken by Macross, and I really wanted to know what other stuff that he got. And I know one of the things that I remember getting was a tape from Hong Kong from my friend Dave, and it had a bunch of episodes of MOSPEADA and of course Orguss, recorded in Cantonese. And so that was my first exposure to this series. And again, I got really captivated in it because because it had transforming mecha. Artwork looks very very much like Macross. It's just a story about the Earth and multiple forces, and aliens and all this other stuff. So it was really fascinating story. And again, good artist, and that kind of stuff. So definitely one of those series that was pretty pivotal in the whole series things. But again, I don't think any company ever did anything with that particular series, but definitely that was a really good series for me anyway. Okay, so let's continue onwards down the list. You can see the next one is Polaris Shenshiro. And I remember that was another one of these again, like Kinkukuma, one of these the wrestling animes. I mean, I don't think very much that the TV shows was ever available for trading. I know that there is one sort of key OEVA that kind of came out, and I know that some people did trade that around. But again, I was not very interested in these wrestling shows and that kind of stuff from back then. So yeah, I'll just mark that as just not really followed. Okay, and that does have that. And so let's go down the list. Okay, so the previous shows that have already been listed. Okay, and now we're gonna come up with a bunch of really insignificant OVAs here. Barefoot Gen, just People had it, but I learned out that wasn't very good anime. Material, it's like the artwork on that was really poor, pretty poor. But a few people had it, but pretty insignificant. And of course the Dugram, for a mecha show, I just never really got into that one. Based off, sort of an old earlier series. Of course, Nine. Of course, there's a whole bunch of these, sort of baseball animes. Nine, Touch, and things like that. Again, I've kind of avoided all those type of shows, but saw a couple episodes, but again, never really got into that style of animation. Let's see, keep going down the list here. Nothing else sort of comes to makes mind there. And what was the other movie here? Time Slip Primrose. Again, that was The Odd Person had that one. Not really that. Again, that's I remember that having that movie again, and nothing too memorable for that one either. Okay, so I think that'll probably finish up with this series. So really nothing too special about the tail end of this season. So let's go into the next one. So right off the beginning, Captain Tsubasa, again, soccer. I watched a little bit of that, but not too much. Just never really got into that kind of show. Genesis Climber MOSPEADA, so another very significant series right here. The last tail end of is a Robotech for a lot of people. Again, I mentioned earlier that I got some Chinese dubbed episodes of that series with my Orguss. So again, another very significant series. Okay, and now the next series is Vifam. Okay, now I knew that was again one of those sort of early mecha shows where the kids model the mechas, and so very pre-Gundam like. But again, I just never caught on. Alright, and so we move along to all the TV shows that have already continuing episodes, so we'll skip over those. Go right to the OVAs here, and Delos. Okay, not a really significant OVA, but okay, yeah, right. And nothing else for movies or OVA, so that pretty much ends 1983. Alright, so if I had to knuckle down a name, like say a top 5 or something for 1983, I would say I'll give you a list of 6. Okay, so the not in any order, but for 1983, definitely I'd go Crusher Joe the movie and Golgo 13 are your two big blockbuster movies that you should pay attention to during this year. And then the rest of the shows are TV shows, and I would go Votoms, Cat's Eye, Superdimensional Century Orguss, and Genesis Climber MOSPEADA. Okay, so those would be my 6 choices for 1983 as basically things that you should actually have or have some significance in the anime history timeline that you should probably check out. Okay, so again, Crusher Joe, Golgo 13, Armor Trooper Votoms, Cat's Eye, Superdimensional Century Orguss, and Genesis Climber MOSPEADA. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that episode, and we're going to continue on with more episodes. As I said, this is about the time where I've now going to be graduating from high school and now continue on to university. I moved down to Vancouver in 1986, so a lot of these animes that I'm now covering are the ones that we were now trading and actively were considered to quite be new at the time. We'll be getting more and more detailed episodes as more and more of the titles will be trading. This is also the time where a lot more OVAs and that stuff will come out. So again, when those episodes come out, you want to know. So make sure you click like and subscribe and notifications on, so that you get those episodes when I get them. Okay, so until next time, see you again.